Okay, few things like subscribe and hit the notification and boost and share the video and all that good stuff. And remember, the time codes are in the description of this video because there's a lot of gossip in here and you may want to stop and come back. Hi, you guys. So I thought we would get in a Christmassy mood. The economy's kind of crap at the moment. And I was like, you know what? Let's do some Christmassy crap to get us in the mood on a budget. So I'm going to be doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 1, Gossip Dump. And while I do it, I'm going to show you some products and it's going to come up on YouTube and then we can have some fun. So first and foremost, we're going to start with this, which is multifunctioned Embryolisse. Okay, this is my favorite multifunction moisturizer. This is a cream, makeup base, mask, and makeup remover. I know, all in one. So here it is. And we're going to start with this because I'm going to be sharing some makeup that I got, which I'm excited to show you. So we're going to first put this on like a primer. And I overdid it on the amount. Oh my God, it feels so good. I'm so dry. So first today on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I wanted to tell you that I think obviously there's some lies happening on the show. In the teaser, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Dorit Kemsley sits down for a lunch with Mauricio, which she said she coordinated through Kyle Richards. I don't doubt that she, coordinated this through Kyle Richards with her endorsement. She would never dare not to.
He's never texted me once asking to see the kids.
Again, it's just I'm hearing different stories.
They're moving.
But I do doubt that PK Kemsley didn't know what was going on the show with Mauricio Umansky, hanging out with him all the time, especially at his model event that he did. For the brand Ari, it looked like it was on Rodeo Drive or maybe Beverly Drive. And so I think PK actually knew damn well what the storyline is on this show that we're watching. And I'm going to prove it to you because he was hanging out with Mauricio at the Ari event. And he's actually in the TMZ video where PK says that everything that Dorit's saying about him not being with the kids isn't true. You're going to see that Mauricio and him actually were together, which means Mauricio told him when he filmed the scene that Dorit must have approached him about, him not participating with the kids and being active in, the kids' life post the divorce. So let me play you the clip.
Hey PK, how are you?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I wanted to ask you, what do you make of the reclaiming in the Housewives trailer that you haven't texted or wants to see your children? What do you say about that?
It's not true, but I'm not going to discuss the kids on TV.
Okay, I understand. Well, what can you tell us about the current season of Housewives?
I haven't seen it. That's what?
I said, do you know what we can expect from it, or?
No idea.
Okay.
You know
That's
what I
who's
know.
in the background.
Okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate you stopping. I wouldn't worry about it.
Mauricio. You see how at the end of the scene, you see off to the side Mauricio accidentally in the TMZ clip. That was kind of sneaky that happened. So there's no universe that exists where Mauricio and PK are hanging out together at Mauricio's event, which PK goes to support him. And Mauricio doesn't tell him what came out with Dorit during the filming. And also, there's no universe that PK Kemsley himself would ever be asked TMZ simultaneously and just happen to be with Mauricio, whether or not it's true that Dorit Kemsley is telling the truth about him not seeing the kids, unless it's all staged. It just so happens that that scene is with Mauricio and Dorit, and it's about PK, and this is the night the paparazzi catch him with Mauricio at his event about the same topic. That's a little too hard for me to believe. So I think this has been planned by PK, and Mauricio to kind of come out around the time with the show. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle also has her hands in that pot. Yeah, and probably Dorit thinks that she doesn't, but she does. So there's something I noticed. Now this is my favorite lip gloss of all time, Rouge Coco Gloss. You guys have heard me talk about this. This always sells out, so you probably won't be able to get it. But if you can get it, that would be great. I'll put a link in. Watch, it's amazing. But that's not the best one for the season. Let me show you the best one. Dorit would be happy with me to do that promo because she's now officially the Chanel house ambassador. What an accomplishment. She should be so proud of herself. This all was made possible because she made it into Vogue. This is the new MAC Fix and Stay Over. You spray it on at the end to have it sit properly. All right, let me show you the new lipstick color that's the hot color. And this color is the hot color of the season. It's a neutral color, kind of. I have a small one. I have a little tiny one. So this is the hot color for fall. And then, of course, with the lip gloss, this is like, oh, God, we used to love this stuff in Beverly Hills, lip gloss. All right, look. It's not goopy either. You see? It's not goopy. So you guys know that Sutton Strac and Kathy Hilton's house got robbed during BravoCon 2025. Well, it just came out a day ago. What happened from Kathy Hilton and Rick Hilton's perspective, and also what Mauricio had to say about this, which was kind of interesting. Notice that Kathy doesn't bring Mauricio up at all as she's asked about it. Thought that was kind of funny.
The episode at home, but I don't know how to work it to get it on. It's a Dropbox, this and that with a code, so you know me. So I'm excited. I'll be watching.
What's the biggest drama we're going to see tomorrow night, Kathy?
I don't want to ruin it for anyone. I feel like this is the first time they haven't let the cat out of the bag too much. There's usually so many clips, and I haven't seen that many, so I'm excited.
You'll be watching it with the rest of us.
Exactly.
Now, when you were at BravoCon, your home was broken into.
Yes.
So sorry to hear about that. And how's Rick doing? Because I know he was at home.
He is good. It was interesting. They came in, broke the glass, and it was raining, and our security guy was down at the guest house. Then they came, so Rick heard that. He got his shotgun out, sorry to say that, and they broke down 3 people in the front master bedroom, and he looked at him and said, "You know what? Get out of here. The police are on their way." And then our guy came up. They met. They ran out, and then he started shooting the gun out of his office in the air.
Wow, go Rick! Oh my God, that's terrifying.
So we
So
are
happy he's okay.
You can't believe it's crazy. If you touch anything,
Yeah.
Carol came in today, and the whole house went off, and yeah.
High security. Well, I'm just so glad that you went home and that Rick's safe and everyone's doing good. Plans for the holidays?
Plans for the holidays. We are going to, the whole family will be together, and we'll go back and forth, I think, to Paris's and then our house.
All those gorgeous
Yes.
babies.
I wonder if anyone's going to bring up that Rick Hilton was put in Virginia Giuffre's book, both of them. Her one that never got published that was partially fictional, and she repeats the story in her autobiography that she just dropped, and it's Rick Hilton. So I just wonder, is anyone on the show going to bring this up? And why not? Because that would be so entertaining to see Kyle's reaction to this. What was weird is Mauricio commented on Rick Hilton's break-in. We know that Rick Hilton and Mauricio are not tight, even though it's kind of played like they are. I don't think Rick Hilton would like that Mauricio was commenting on the break-in, promoting Ari and his modeling gig at the store. It seems kind of disingenuous. It's the same pap that caught PK, same night, same event. And it's obvious they're using the event in a way to like get things out there that they need with the pap there and all this. It's like, it just seems very agenda oriented. And remember, Paris Hilton said, "Keep my dad's name out of your mouth, Mauricio." So I don't know how he'd feel about this.
Mauricio, how's it going?
I'm good. good. You?
I'm doing great.
See this?
You're confident.
Yeah, you have to show us what's going on. This is your new clothing line?
Say what?
This is your new clothing line? What's
No,
going
it's
on?
not. I just model. I'm a new model.
Okay. How's that been going for you?
It's been fun. Look at this. Oh, baby.
That's hot. That is just
Come on, man.
single manhood right there, bro.
Wait, Mauricio, I did want to ask you, how are Kathy and Rick doing since the break-in?
I haven't spoken to them since the break-in, but like I went through a break-in and it wasn't easy and it was not fun and like it's just I can't even imagine what they're going through yet. But I heard about it before everybody else did, and it's hard. We got to fix this state. We got to fix this city. We got to stop. We got to get safety. We got to get the period end of story. We got to put these motherfuckers in jail.
Do you know at least, have you heard if they lost anything, or?
I have no idea yet. But I got to tell you, you rob my ass and I will kill you.
Here's what Sutton Strac lost in her robbery per Jeff Lewis.
Having a real hard time. Did you hear her house got broken into where she's in BravoCon? She said they stole a lot of my jewelry, all of my handbags.
No.
She's really upset.
Which house?
The one in Bel Air. She says,
On the main road?
Yes. She goes, I don't think it's time for me to do the show this week. She said, I'm not in a great place. Well,
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Also, Mauricio dropped the other day that he was open to a reconciliation with Kyle Richards. Never say never, he said. She's my life partner, he said. He was like, she's in a different category than the world because I've had my children with her. But not only that, she's my life partner, he kept saying. And we're kind of like, okay. And he's just like, yeah, it could happen. Anything could happen. And I'm thinking to myself, 3 days ago, you were caught kissing a girl. Or maybe getting caught is the wrong words because you don't stand in front of Craig's where the paps all plant themselves across the street and do this if you are worried about getting caught. So I guess this is him just saying, look at my F-Boy reality star. Yeah, F-Boy, HBO F-Boy. She's used to be on the season 1. Yep. That's his chicky chick that he's into, at least for that night. But yeah, not feeling reconciliation with Kyle with this picture. Nope. Now, this is a fun receipt. This is Kyle Richards talking about a fun story with Rihanna and a really exciting moment for her at Kris Jenner's birthday party.
Was there anybody that you met that you were like crushing on as a fan?
The moment I was honestly the most starstruck was Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, when you saw Oprah.
Well, and I had just seen her recently with Anastasia at some speaking event, and she was closer than you are.
Right.
She was closer to me than this, and I was just like, it's Oprah Winfrey.
You could
It's
say
Oprah Winfrey.
that?
And I could, and she just smiled and said hello, and then at Krista, she said, hi, how are you? And I was like, she knows me. I don't know, maybe we're friends now. This is so crazy.
Oh my God.
I didn't know what to do with myself.
People are starstruck by you. Like, you have fans from Real Housewives. You are an OG. There are so many. Can you remember
I have tea
anybody
about
where you
this.
had like a celebrity fan encounter?
Well, I mean, the one that comes to mind first is I was in Aspen, Colorado, walking past Kimosabi, which is this beautiful Western store that I like to buy all my hats and things at. And it was nighttime. I thought, the lights are on. That's weird. They're closed. I'm going to knock on the door. I know they're going to open it for me.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of hats in there. So I walked in, and I was asking something, and I said, who's upstairs? And they said, Rihanna is upstairs.
Rihanna was
And I
upstairs.
was like, oh. I said, could you tell her Kyle Richards is here, and could she come down?
Yeah.
And they said, okay. Like, who do you think you are, girl? And
She's a super
they
fan.
went upstairs and came back
Yeah.
down. And she said, tell her to get up here. She's the only reason I'm in the store right now.
Oh, she came to keep on Sabi because of you? Girl.
So we went up there, and I was with my daughters, and we spoke for, about an hour. We hung out. Here we are. She was giving me marital advice.
So y'all was talking about marital advice and kids and all of
everything.
that?
She's watching the show, and she said something to me that I will never forget.
What'd she say?
And I don't want to get it wrong. She said, all these people, harassing you about your separation, how you're going about it. Why don't you tell them, why would I give you the blueprints to my home when I already renovated?
Ooh, Rihanna said that.
Okay, so a few things. None of the cast members liked this video, but it was definitely, on all the Bravo channels, right? So I thought that was kind of telling. Second of all, I think Kyle might be a little jealous that Dorit got Chanel. So just to remind you guys, because a big plot point on the upcoming season is going to be what happened between Sutton and Garcelle. We probably will see some of that tonight because I always do the gossip during the day of the show, before I see it. The thing is that Garcelle felt like she was a better friend to Sutton Strac than Sutton Strac was to her. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Garcelle Beauvais did not feel that Sutton had her back at the reunion. And she also resented that Sutton Strac was close to Kyle because Kyle was constantly throwing her under the bus on the show behind the scenes. And at the same time, like, Sutton's kissing Kyle's ass the whole time. And Garcelle's like, I don't get it. Why are you supporting Kyle when Kyle doesn't support you? Like, truly. So that really irritated Garcelle. She felt like it was inauthentic. And she did have a real friendship with Sutton. And she does, I think, miss that friendship, although she unfollowed and doesn't want anything to do with Sutton for now. I think her feeling is like Sutton was not a great friend in her actions. Now, Jennifer Tilly spoke about this at BravoCon, and she's like, I love Garcelle. I love Sutton. I miss Garcelle being on the show because she was kind of always laughing at my jokes and things like that. But she said the thing is that, Sutton's not really sure what went wrong. And I don't know what was so bad that Garcelle felt like she had to sever ties. And so Jennifer wasn't really sure what was the trigger event. But the trigger event was the reunion, really, truly, because Sutton, again, didn't have Garcelle's back, chose Kyle over her. And, in real life, you're upset about it. Like, forget the show. You really care about this friend. You think it's your real friend. And then she does, like, kind of a show thing. And you're like, is this girl my friend? Or is this really all for TV? And Garcelle, I don't think, wanted it to be all about TV. And when she realized it was really all about the show for Sutton, she was like, you know what? I'm out. This is too dirty and too inauthentic. And then also she couldn't stand Erika Jayne Girardi. She didn't want anything to do with her. And I don't blame her at all because Erika Jayne Girardi sided with Diana Jenkins, who allegedly was the one who hired the bots that attacked Garcelle Beauvais' son in the worst way possible. Now, Diana, of course, went on to deny it, and then the waters got muddy and everybody forgot about it, but Garcelle didn't forget about it. And Garcelle knows that Diana Jenkins and Erika were close on that front and probably wonders if Erika didn't have something to do with it. This is going to make the promos that Kyle Richards is doing about the show right now make a lot more sense to you because you see Kyle and Sutton have gotten close since Garcelle has left because of the reason I just said. Makes sense now. And there does seem to be a pattern with Sutton because her very good friend Avi, who appeared on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with her often and shot with her and also was friends with Garcelle, ended up parting ways with Sutton. And she was, I think, a little cold to Avi, which then made him want to maybe not stay in touch with her too much and instead stay in touch with Garcelle Beauvais, her best estranged friend on the show. All right, you guys. So I'm just going to do a quick recap because I'm doing a live with Kim D tomorrow at 1 p.m. and we're going to be doing a more thorough recap and opinion session on tonight's episode. So just a quick gist is what I'm giving you tonight. So here's a quick recap. Bose gets a Hermes blanket from Dorit, which costs $2,000 just because they're friends for a year. Sign me up to be Dorit's friend. We find out that Bose does not approve of the girl that PK Kemsley kissed publicly and calls her the Sheen Dorit, meaning she's like a cheap version. We find out Dorit Kemsley filed on the same day that she saw that come out in the tabloids, PK kissing somebody. She went to the baseball game with her kid. A few days later, we saw that in the tabloids. She looked like she was upset and she was far away, and so was PK. And she confirmed she was upset because, obviously. And then she says she doesn't speak badly about PK to the kids, but PK travels all the time and he only sees them occasionally on a Saturday. That's why she filed for full custody. She knows he can't deliver. And he filed 50-50 because he didn't want the kids to believe like he didn't want them and, like more time. But it was for optics instead of what he really could do. And that he's the master of his own disaster, which should be a bumper sticker. Anyway, We all know I don't like PK. So he's been called ugly on the show tonight, too. I feel like we should do drinking alert. How many times did people say PK's ugly? All right, so then we find out that Kyle Richards took 4 days to text Dorit after the divorce went public, and Dorit feels like Kyle isn't really her friend and isn't in it to win it and wasn't supportive. She could have been right there, and she wasn't. Then we hear from Alexia. She's planning her wedding with Kyle Richards to Jake, who she's known since she was little. Sophie is not going to her dad's house too much. She's mainly staying with Kyle. Portia's going back and forth, and this is the scene where she calls Mauricio a hoe. So then they bring RachelZoe on. As you would expect, they don't introduce her because she was on Bravo for many years, and they just shove her right in. And you know, she shows off her fashion, which is obviously what she's known for as a stylist. She goes through a quick origin story for the fans that don't know that, you know, Tommy Hilfiger hired her first as a stylist. And then from there, she did many A-listers. I noticed she stayed off of some of the ones that you would think that she would talk about, but we know why from my Live with Kim D. Last one. If you don't know, go check that one out. But she didn't mention any of those people. And then she says that she did Paris. Oh, what a dig. What a dig. If you know, you know. And then she said she's good friends with Kathy Hilton, and she helps Kathy style. And that's how we introduce ourselves to Zoe. And then we see her kid. She gives everybody an update on her marriage with her husband. She's way bitchier about it than I expected. She said the biggest mistake she made in her relationship with her man was doing business with him, which is really shocking considering his role in the businesses and his background. I was kind of like, ooh. She's definitely, as I said on the last Kim D Live, pissed about his new girlfriend, who's also a stylist, which I said is going to really piss her off. And sure enough, it certainly did. And she's pissed that there seems to be some overlap with other women and their separation because the girlfriend was immediately in the picture and he was also allegedly cheating right before. So then we find out Erika Jayne did that Pride concert, and at the Pride concert in the UK that she did, it was sold out. And right before, she found out that Tom Girardi was getting 7 years in prison, and she's still not divorced from him. And she was like a deer in headlights, and oh my God, and she doesn't know what to think about it. And the man that is walking around is like the shell of himself, and you know, doesn't know how to feel about it all. And, you know, keep thinking about the 20 million in the pipe coming at you, girl, like a freight train. Because it's coming to the station. There's also this scene that's kind of cringe with her and Bose having lunch, and she's talking about her sex life, that she maybe hooked up with this Bravo celebrity, but I don't think they really did. I think they just flirted, and she's teasing that, and she's like, but ask me what I did last night, and then we don't get more than that. But I'm thinking, why do I give a shit about your sex life, Erika? Really? Ew. Based on your, Army Hammer choices? No thanks. So then, although Kyle's such a good friend of Erika, she didn't really know where the Pride was. She was like, oh, it was in the UK. And then Kyle is asked, did you go to Paris Hilton's Pride concert in West Hollywood? And Kyle's like, no, missed that one. Isn't that interesting? Don't think Paris maybe invited her after what happened with Mo, potentially. So then we find out that Sutton is getting along great with her mother, and she's staying with her. James, her son, is graduating high school and leaving. We find out finally the Patreons of Dishing Drama Dana are going to love this. Okay, guys, we figured it out. You were all right. Sutton got annulled, but only in the Catholic Church. And she didn't change her name to her maiden name. He wrote a letter to her and, as an asshole, used her maiden name, Sutton Brown, instead of his name, Sutton Strac, to really rub it in like I'd like to erase our marriage. But it wasn't a legal thing, to be fair. Everybody was trying to talk to me, and I was like, what? And I was like, there's no way legally he can annul the marriage 18 years later. And now we understand it was a Catholic Church thing. Anyway, Sutton doesn't want to spill the tea about Avi. The women ask her about him a million times and the falling out they had. She never speaks about it. But to be fair, she had Avi sign an NDA, so she probably wants to be careful not to breach the NDA that she had Avi sign. Even it might have been mutual, who knows. She definitely didn't want to get into it. She avoided it. Avi couldn't say much about it because of that NDA. I will say that, allegedly Avi was yelled at by Sutton and kind of was disrespected a few times. That was the gossip. He made it sound more like his job title kind of shifted and, he was looking for maybe more money or something. And like she was scaling him back and not really scaling him in the way he was used to because he was more of a property manager than an assistant, really. Like they kind of fudged it for the show. And he also didn't enjoy the filming so much. It was very stressful for him. So that's what I pieced together from the cryptic shit that they both dropped. Also, Garcelle is not talking to Sutton. She hasn't. And she doesn't know why Garcelle stopped being her friend and ghosted her and everything when they were so close. And so that's it. But the women seem to think it's because of the way she acts with her friends. And she's been sort of a mouse now because she needs friends because she doesn't have any alliances anymore. So now she's kind of like on her own island. So they kind of share a little of that. Everyone talks about Kyle Richards goes on the record on the show and says that she's not speaking with PK anymore. But of course, I don't believe that at all. And Mauricio and PK are still, of course, best friends and they're, hanging out. Now, Dorit thinks that PK was being a playboy because of Mauricio, but it's just ridiculous. And I do appreciate that Erika called that out because PK partied way harder and better than Mauricio ever could, okay, in his time. So if anyone's teaching anyone how to party, although PK is or was sober, it's PK to Mauricio, not the other way around. And there's another scene. We see RachelZoe's house. We meet her kids again, and it's nice. And, she loves the quiet and doesn't miss Roger at all. She does comment that she wished she never worked with him, which I thought was really odd, given that he would have been the investment banker in the relationship based on his background. And he would have been, I think, sort of a part of all of that, the financial side of that relationship. Based on his background, that was unusual to me. But anyway, she kept the house and that's all that matters, I guess. That was their main asset. So then Kyle has a picnic at her mansion that she lives at, the new one. And Erika's outfit was horrific, but I don't know, the fashion wasn't great on tonight's show. What can I tell you? Disappointed. RachelZoe's outfit was nice. I mean, I'm not just saying it because it's RachelZoe. I liked her clothes. But anyway, so it's Sutton versus Dorit. Are they going to get into it again? It doesn't go that way. Dorit shows compassion to Sutton in her estrangement with Avi and Garcelle, and Dorit plans to see that maybe Garcelle was just an alliance, and Sutton's like, no, she's, was my friend. I'm not going to let you talk about her like that. So she's still showing some loyalty on the show to Garcelle. I'm hoping maybe Garcelle will change her mind or come back, I guess, when she sees the show tonight. I doubt she'll watch, but if it gets shoved in her face. And then we see Keely and Bose, and they're super happy, and they're still together, and he's slowly moving into Bose's house, but they want to get another house together. And then we get into whether Dorit has finally told the kids that her and PK are divorced, and she said that her older son knows, but not from her, and it hasn't been formally said by either her or PK, but like, she gets the feeling that at least the older son knows and he just kind of brushed it off. But she hasn't had like the formal sit down with the kids to say like, it's over, this is what it means for you. And potentially that's because per her, PK isn't home that much, so she doesn't need to make an issue out of it because it's the same as before, maybe. So RachelZoe says to Kyle, I've got to tell you that I was set up on a date in Aspen with Mauricio Umansky because my friends thought I'm famous, he's famous, we would hit it off. And she makes it sound like she might have gone, but then of course nothing happened. And of course she didn't like pursue it, or maybe he didn't, I don't know, but that's sort of left to you guys to guess about. But that happens, and Kyle's like, well, he's, kissing everybody, and I'm kind of getting used to it now publicly. And Dorit was like, yeah, I think PK was copying Mauricio, and yeah, and I talked about that already. So this is when they decide to have the Hot Girls Summer, because Sutton Strac is, needs a man, and Dorit Kemsley needs to go out and party and be the single chick now. And Kyle needs to get out of her pajamas because she's been mainly a homebody now that she's sober and, doesn't feel really a need to go out that much. And so, it's time to get the party on. And RachelZoe is going to get these ladies going. And that's where they leave the episode. Oh, I forgot to mention that Erika is going to announce her new boyfriend any minute, who's, wait till I tell you about him. Oh my God, another nightmare. She's the worst taste. And so she needs a man too. She needs a lot. I don't know. All right, you guys, on that note, like and subscribe, and we'll talk soon. I'll see you next Thursday. Okay, guys, one more thing before we finish. I just want to show you the dress I just got from Maje at Bloomingdale's. Look, it's awesome. Look at how beautiful this dress is. Let me quickly throw it on for you. Look how cute. I love it. Ah. It's I think it's French, obviously. So it's very elegant. It's hard to see in the light, but it's really elegant. That's the side angle. So flattering, I think. Cinches your waist. But it's still classy. Hello, I'm very classy.